am Tamiko Laurie Pugh, a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and empowerment coach to women. And so I empower women to live an empowered life of passion, purpose, potential, and peace by turning their wounds into wisdom. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to talk to you about my 5 tips to turn your wounds into wisdom. And so, as I get started, I'm going to read an excerpt from my first book, Wounds to Wisdom, I'm Still Standing. And so, this book is really a memoir where I talk about overcoming child abuse, sexual assault, and then also domestic violence, and then turning my wounds into wisdom and becoming the person that I am today. And so, here's what I wanted to read to you. It says this. Throughout the course of our lives, we're often faced with many situations and circumstances that cause us to become wounded. We become wounded physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially, and even spiritually. And so, what I want you to know today is just because you have been wounded, those bumps and bruises do not have to leave you broken. Let me repeat that. Just because you've been wounded, those bumps and bruises do not have to leave you broken. And so, 5 steps to turn your wounds into wisdom. Again, I'm a survivor of child abuse, sexual assault, domestic violence, teenage pregnancy, and that's just a few of the things, that I'm a survivor of. But one of the things that I had to do in order to turn my wounds into wisdom, and this is number 1 on my list, is to admit my emotional pain so that I can deal with it and heal. So here's the thing. We have so much emotional pain bottled up in us, and we don't even deal with it. We don't deal with it. We just kind of leave it there like, yeah, I'm hurting on the inside, but I look good on the outside. And that's not what it's about. It's about dealing with that emotional pain, admitting that it is there so that you can begin that healing process. And I know it's a lot easier to say, I have a broken arm, or it's easier to deal with that physical pain. It's easier to say I have a broken arm rather to say I have a broken heart or I have a broken spirit. And so let's go ahead and admit that emotional pain, admit the pain that we're going through so that our spirits can heal. And that's number 1, admit your emotional pain so that you can deal with it and heal. The second thing you have to do in order to turn your wounds into wisdom is to let go of what used to be and no longer is. And so here's the thing. We go through things in life, we're wounded, we're hurt. We go through some type of pain, some type of trial or tribulation in life. And then what happens is that we try to put the pieces back together again. But here's what I've learned. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says this. Anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun. God is trying to create something new in you, so stop trying to put the pieces back together again. There are no pieces to put together because God is trying to create a new creature in you. He is creating something new. I'm not the same person that I used to be when I was wounded. I'm not the same Tamiko. I'm not the hurt, low self-esteem Tamiko that I used to be. And so allow God to create something new. Let go of what used to be and no longer is. And so, number 1, admit your emotional pain so that you can deal with it and heal. Number 2, let go of what used to be and no longer is. Number 3, view every wound as an educational assignment. View every wound as an educational assignment. And so ask yourself, what is the lesson in this? There is a lesson in every single thing that we go through in life. Everything. Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. And it doesn't say certain things are for our purpose. It says all things work together. And so ask yourself the question, what is the lesson in this? Maybe the lesson was to become stronger. Maybe the lesson was to teach you when to let go. Maybe it was to teach you the lesson of forgiveness. Whatever it is, view every wound, every challenge as an educational assignment. Number 4, this is important. Give yourself permission to forgive. Give yourself permission to forgive. The Bible instructs us to forgive as the Lord forgave us, okay? And so, in order to really turn your wounds into wisdom, you must be willing to forgive. Be willing to forgive the person who hurt you. Also, be willing to forgive yourself. Sometimes we forget to forgive ourselves and we beat ourselves up for allowing us to go through certain things in life. Give yourself permission to forgive yourself. Again, the person who is hardest to forgive is the one who's going to teach you the greatest lesson in life. The person who is hardest to forgive will teach you the greatest lesson in life. And so I talked about forgiveness in my book, Wounds to Wisdom, I'm Still Standing. And so here is what it says. It says this. When you love yourself enough to rise above the old situation, then understanding and forgiveness will be easy and you'll be free. Give yourself permission to forgive. Your future depends on it. Number 5, embrace the new, stronger version of you. Embrace the new, stronger version of who you have become. Listen, you are not who you used to be, and that's okay. You've gone through hurts and pains. You've gone through ups and downs. And those are the things that have made you who you are today. So much has happened to you. Your perspective changes in life. You've learned lessons, and your spirit is forced to grow. You know, when we go through things in life, our spirit grows because it allows us to get closer to God, and we can give Him the glory at the end of the day. So life is all about growth. It's about maximizing your full potential. So you're the same human being. I'm the same human being, but our spirit has grown. We're a new person. Remember what I said earlier, God is creating something new, a new, stronger version of you. And so you have to embrace that. Here's one of my favorite quotes. Embrace the struggle and let it make you stronger. Embrace the struggle and let it make you stronger. You see, wisdom is not always measured by what you know, but rather how you embrace your wounds of experience. Again, wisdom is not measured by what you know. It's measured by how you embrace your wounds of experiences. And so I'm going to recap my 5 tips to turn your wounds into wisdom very quickly for you. Number 1, admit your emotional pain so that you can deal with it and heal. Number 2, let go of what used to be and no longer is. Number 3, view every wound as an educational assignment. Number 4, give yourself permission to forgive. Your future depends on it. Okay? Number 5, embrace the new, stronger version of you. Thank you so much for listening, and remember that wisdom is not always measured by what you know, but rather how you embrace your wounds of experiences. Wounds to Wisdom.